And we are live, baby.
Hey, hey.
How are you, man?
Let's go. I've started to do the hey, hey, like Giannini, to remember
Hey.
Giannini.
Yes, in honor of the GOAT, GG,
Yeah.
who will be coming every once in a while.
Yeah, of course, man.
For you guys to know, G has been doing some fantastic stuff with his plays.
Yes.
His plays are starting to get viewed and noticed, so it's very exciting. He's got some readings over in March. Might be getting an agent soon, so who knows? It's all very exciting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Soon he'll be in the circle of Kevin Spacey. Because Kevin Spacey loves theater, like English theater, doesn't he?
He does, man. He's a fucking sucker for it. Oh, man.
He is a sucker for it.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 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 See, this is the level, ladies and gentlemen.
That's wild.
We stoop very low on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, literally as well. Fuck. Oh,
Oh, man. That's wild.
I don't even know how to move on without making yet another fucking reference
on the
to
topic of Oscar-winning actors, today's subject is the Oscars. So, yeah.
And we are not saying that those who will win suck their way into having
Wow. Yeah,
cool. So yeah, all in all, what we thinking about 2025 as a year for films? We have two extremes, I have the impression, on the internet. One half that says it was one of the worst years, and another half that says, holy shit, we are so back. Where do you stand in that line?
I'm leaning more towards it wasn't so good. I think when I see the Oscars, like, all I can think of is the bar is low.
Ooh, that's a
which might be a
controversial
little harsh, a little controversial statement there. But I'd say there was some films here that I did appreciate, and they're probably actually the ones that aren't gonna win that much, which is a shame, really. I think the more mainstream ones, or the more popular ones, actually, I have more problems with, to be honest. But yeah, what about you? Like, what's your take on it this year?
Dude, I have to say, I don't think it was as bad as 2024, but I am not like in the holy shit, we are so back. Yes. I find that the last phenomenal year for films was, I mean, I gotta say, there was the year where Parasite won. That was a fantastic year. 2019 was a great year for film. Yeah. And I remember 2015. 2015 was a stupid year for film. Like, just so many bangers back to back.
Mad Max.
Yeah, that was Mad Max year. I remember it was Crimson Peak. I think Guillermo del Toro had his film. But yeah, anyways, so I know what peak represents for me. And yeah, this wasn't close.
There's
but
been selective films that have stood out still.
Yes, absolutely. That, that still means that there were good films. I think that there were still good films even in 2024. It's just that, at least for my taste, the amount of good films coming out every year,
yeah, I agree with that,
has been drastically reduced. That's all I'm saying. And interestingly enough, see, this isn't about the Oscars, but some of my favorite films this year were actually not films that were selected.
Yeah.
I think the way I want to do this is I want to start out with the supporting actors. Obviously, we couldn't do all of them. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. So let's do supporting actors, and then I want to get into the more exciting stuff for me and you, which is the screenwriting, the directing, and the best picture, obviously. Let's do supporting actors, my friend. We want to start with actor or actress? Ladies first?
Yeah, ladies first. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So Tiana Taylor, one battle after another. I think she's the favorite to win. Amy Madigan for Weapons. Wunmi Mosaku, I hope I'm saying that name right, for Sinners. Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value, and Inga Ibsdotter Lilias.
Yes. Can I just ask, because obviously I've only seen all actually no, there's only one film from the Best Picture category that I haven't seen, which I believe is The Secret Agent. That's the film that I have not seen. Film. So
yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Please forgive us. Yeah. And what are the
Sorry.
films that you saw?
Love my Brazilian brothers and sisters.
Oh, 100%.
So
we love our sisters. So what films did you watch actually this year?
I've watched 6 of the Best Picture nominees. I haven't seen Sentimental Value. I watched the first 10 minutes of Hamnet. I haven't seen The Secret Agent, and I haven't seen F1.
All right, that's cool. Oh, you didn't miss anything. All right, cool. I mean, you didn't miss anything. You did miss stuff. But I meant I don't think F1 was in conversation for Best Picture.
I heard F1 was just Top Gun, but with cars.
Yeah, and it was great. It was very, very fun.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I'll see it at some point.
What's your take then from that list? I have not seen Weapons. You need to know that.
Amy Madigan was really good in Weapons.
Dude, I heard Amy Madigan was the better one.
Yeah, she was probably the best part of the film, really. I wouldn't say it was a perfect film. I'd say it was even a little bit overrated, to be honest. But she was really, really good in that film, and you could tell she was really absorbed by that role. As much as someone like Toni Collette was in Hereditary.
Toni Collette made Hereditary.
Yeah, she did. There's a lot to put into a horror role, I think. And it's really easy to go over the top with it, but I don't think she did, even though she is a character in the film. I think she really played it honestly. And yeah, the end sequence is just, it's so funny and like wild, and people know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I actually think she would be my personal favorite to win, although I haven't seen Sentimental Value, and I heard the performances in that were great.
So great that you should say that. I was going to say, from what I've heard, I believe Amy has the better chance as far as what I'm reading on Reddit.
Okay.
From what I've seen, Weapons being the only one that I didn't see in the category, I believe that, what did you call her?
Inga, yeah, Inga.
Inga. I think that Inga, 100%, is my favorite, top choice. I thought that she was the best part of Sentimental Value. There was a sense of quiet desperation in her character. I really don't want to spoil it. It's about a fractured relationship between two daughters and their father being this egotistic, highly successful film director who essentially comes back into the life of one particular sister who's played by the muse of Joachim Trier. Renate. But of course, this other sister comes into play. And man, the other sister plays all of these layers only with her eyes. She has unbelievable expressive eyes. In this one particular room, there is this, let's put our cards on the table and let's just try and get through all of the trauma in just one scoop. That's the egotism of the director, who just believes, all right, fine, if we just sit down in a couch and discuss over 2 minutes, we're just going to be able to get over all the bullshit, right?
Okay.
And Renate she plays it very literally. She's aggressive, she wears her emotions on her sleeve, and she just gets it all out. But Inga, I believe, plays the harder role, which is she's dealing with both the rage for her father, or yearning to be loved by her father, and at the same time, jealousy towards her sister because the father is asking Renate to play the character, which means she gets this quality, I guess, VIP time with a dude who just never gives it away.
Yeah, right.
And she does all of that simply by body language and her eyes, man. Her unreal eyes. It's really a physical performance, and yet she's sitting down in the entire scene. I knew instantly that she was going to be like my top pick for Best Supporting Actor because Sentimental Value, I enjoyed the film. Every time I think back on it, I think at Inga. I don't think at Stellan Skarsgård or Renate. Mind you, they were both brilliant in their respective roles.
Yeah. Because Elle Fanning's nominated as well.
Elle was also fantastic. Elle was fantastic in that film. Actually, I think, is also one of the best performances by Elle Fanning. So I am not throwing shade at Elle. She also aced it in that film. Really, Joachim Trier, you could say whatever you want about his screenwriting, because I think that's where I have my biggest qualms with Joachim Trier. I don't think he's a bad director. I think that he shows, wonderful signs of brilliancy here and there. His acting, though, this guy knows how to direct actors. That is his strongest suit.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he does the extra research with the actors to make sure that they fully embody the performance.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, well, just say the line and sit on your cue without much conviction. Brother, it almost feels as if he's just picking these characters and just saying, okay, just roll the camera and let them act. That's how much they embody each of the performances.
So she's your favorite to win, would you say?
She is my favorite to win.
Who do you think will win?
Tiana's going to win it.
Do you have any opinions on her performance in the film?
I think Tiana did a good job, but I don't think that the issues with Tiana stem from performance. I think it's screenwriting. It's, if you want actors to excel, you need to give them stuff. Actors need to take, right? That's something that they say in screenwriting classes.
Yeah.
And I think that Paul Thomas Anderson, who I believe is a genius, so come at me, internet, I don't think for that one particular character he gave her too much.
I think he almost crammed too much because she suddenly has a baby and then she's kind of having issues with commitment to Leonardo DiCaprio's character. and then she suddenly has this heist and she shoots a guy and it all messes up. It just kind of, I feel like her characterization was almost there, but there was too much going on.
Yeah, she was too literally impulsive, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Anyways, best supporting actress, I will give to Inga, and, you know, should Tiana win it, in my heart, she'll have won it for the Kanye West video. That's it. Let's just, next one. Next
okay,
question.
Let's do the boys next, the supporting boys. We have Delroy Lindo in Sinners, Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value, Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another, and Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. This one's stacked.
Dude, it's stacked because Delroy is my favorite part of Sinners. That's that.
Yeah.
Delroy he completely stole the show. Also one of my favorite characters of his. Yeah, that's a difficult category. Jacob Elordi, you know, I could see the effort. I could see the physicality.
Yeah, same, yeah.
But it's going to have to go to one of the boys from One Battle After Another.
Really? Not Stellan in Sentimental Value? I heard he was extraordinary in that film.
He is very, very good.
He did win the Globe, didn't he? So is it being set up so that he's going to win? Who won the SAG?
If he wins it, bro, great for him. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
But I just, for some reason...
Yeah. I think for me personally, it's Sean Penn, like in One Battle After Another. You can't beat that performance. Like, his character was the best character in the whole film. The best written character in the whole film, I think, personally.
I agree. And, you know, I read somewhere that they're like, really? Is that your favorite character? Because he was a one-note parody of, you know, conservative general.
Like,
Republican colonel, yeah. And that they didn't get a lot of layers or, I guess, three-dimensionality off of that character, and that really bothered them. And so for them, they were like, why the hell would you give an Oscar to a character who's playing a satire? You know, it's almost like a satirical performance. It's not one that you can take too seriously. And first of all, why not give an Oscar to a satirical performance? What if that satirical performance happened to be extraordinary? And I will say, look, him and Benicio are the two memorable characters for me, personally, in that list.
Yes, they are.
Now, am I just going to give Oscars to the characters that are most memorable to me? I mean, I'd say to a certain extent, yes, because it's not just the screenwriting. It's also how the actor portrays him and really just, you know, seals the deal for that, you know, that character.
And they've done that before. I mean, if you look at Moonlight, Mahershala Ali's character in Moonlight is the most memorable character in that film.
Totally, 100%.
And he won the Oscar for that. He won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for that. And he's in it for like 15 minutes.
He is.
So you could say the same for Benicio del Toro here, because his screen time probably adds up to about 15 minutes.
My girlfriend was late on the whole Benicio del Toro train. She watches One Battle After Another. She says it's the first film where she saw Benicio del Toro actually act.
Really?
She came out of it not only with a crush on Benicio del Toro, but she came out, and she's a stickler for acting, saying, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Because that dude stole the show, and he's 7 minutes on screen, and he doesn't even do much, which means
I know.
He should be a forgettable entity. And yet, he is a dude who generated thousands of memes and who the internet looks up to for masculinity.
Yeah.
And all of that with him saying 3 words. And so 3 words, not much action. That means that all of it was sold on the performance of Benicio del Toro, because really he's holding that entire thing together.
Yeah. Definitely carries the scenes.
And
he's acting alongside Leonardo DiCaprio. So to say that he carries the scenes is a huge compliment.
Oh, massive. I mean, Leo is phenomenal in that film.
Yeah, he was.
So I would lean towards Benicio del Toro personally.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And now, why? Again, because I just know in the annals of history, Benicio del Toro's character is one that the annals will remember. I think a lot more so than
Sean
personally.
Penn's Colonel Lockjaw, yeah.
And Delroy and Stellan Skarsgård.
I think with One Battle After Another, it's kind of like a flip of a coin of who you like more, who kind of caught your attention more. Because with some people, they're gonna say, "Oh, I like Lockjaw more," and then some people are gonna say they liked Benicio del Toro's character more, and that's fair enough. Like,
and don't get me
you can't
wrong.
say like, oh,
Yeah.
you're wrong or whatever.
I would say it's actually a tie almost. If I could choose, I would give it to both.
I think so as well.
That's how much I loved Sean Penn in that film.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Should Sean Penn win it?
Yeah. Cool. So, our favorites to win are either of those, and who do you think will win? Do you think it's either of those two?
I think it's going to be either Stellan or it's going to be Sean Penn.
Yeah. Sean Penn, yeah, because Sean Penn won did he win the BAFTA and the Globe?
I don't know, actually. I think Stellan won for the Globe.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I think because Stellan Skarsgård's performance is very raw and very serious, I think they'll lean towards that more because it's more the emotional, dramatic role, right?
Yeah, and Stellan, again, it's about layered performance. It's about subtext.
Yeah.
His performance could be defined in one word, subtext. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, right.
So let's go.
Yeah, so let's do Best Actress.
Let's go. Best Actress.
So for this, we've got Emma Stone in Bugonia, who I don't know why she's nominated for lead because I thought she was more of a supporting in Bugonia. Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. Renate in Sentimental Value, and Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue.
So I haven't seen Song Sung Blue, and I haven't seen Rose Byrne's movie.
No, I haven't seen that either.
So
I just know that Conan O'Brien's in that movie. That's all I know about that
Me
movie.
too. That's why he's in the thumbnale of the trailer. Because they just knew that was the that was the hook.
They knew that was the only way that they'd earn a little bit of money.
So I haven't seen those two performances, so I'm gonna go off of the ones that you mentioned. So I'm curious because you said that you believe that Emma Stone shouldn't have deserved a Best Actor nomination and should have been instead a supporting actor. Why do you think that is?
It's because from the start, obviously, Jesse Plemons is clearly the protagonist in the film, and it's clearly from his perspective. I think that maybe not support. I can see she's closer to a lead, I would say, than a supporting, because there's more of a switch maybe towards the end where she becomes more of a lead. I would just say that Jesse Plemons was more the focus in this film.
So can I ask then, is it for you the protagonist is the only one who deserves to be in the Best Actor category, and any other actor who is not the lead cannot be Best Actor? Because what would you say then about Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson being both nominated for Best Actor for True Detective, when in fact it's clearly Rustin Cole's story?
Well, it's an interesting one because I do believe that Best Leading Actor should be the protagonist. I always thought that was synonymous. And so, yes, I do think that when people are nominated for Best Leading Actress or Actor, they should really be the protagonist. And I know that's a controversial thing to say because it's excluding some great performances that are shared. Like, I did think Emma Stone was pretty good in this film. And you just said True Detective, and obviously equally they were both phenomenal in True Detective.
Yeah, I'd say I would give a nomination for both lead actors when the, I guess, emotional impact that you feel from a story is equally.
I think
is equally given from character A and character B. So, for example, a great buddy movie I believe needs to be shared. So, for example, Rain Man. I truly believe that Tom Cruise deserved the nomination as much as Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, I agree.
And yet
with
it
that.
wasn't Dustin Hoffman's movie, and Dustin Hoffman is the one who won the Oscar that year.
Yeah.
And I believe that Bugonia was like a big theater piece held by two characters. And Emma Stone held that film just as much as Jesse Plemons.
Do you think so, though? I think he overshadowed her quite a bit. I thought, personally. His performance was stronger for me than hers.
Sure, the performance was stronger, but I meant like the impact that character has on the script and the impact that character has on us is equally as strong as Jesse Plemons' character.
I see what you're saying.
Even though the story is told through the perspective of Jesse Plemons.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So the way it's basically, if I were to say like, okay, the weight that a character has on both plot and emotions felt by the audience, I mean, it's nearly 50-50 between Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. And that's why I would give it a nomination. I would give a nomination to Emma Stone. Now, of course, you're going to tell me, well, there is no hard rules for that Because,
yeah,
okay, when then does a character really become a supporting actor? Why not give Stellan Skarsgård then a Best Actor nomination instead of a supporting actor?
Yeah.
When in fact, you know, from what you're describing, maybe someone might feel that Stellan Skarsgård was as important. And to that I say, no, I saw freaking sentimental value, and Stellan Skarsgård was nowhere near as important to both the plot and I guess just presence in the film as Emma Stone had. You know what I mean?
Is he like an emotional catalyst for the main character's development? Does
Absolutely.
Does that constitute more a supporting actor than a lead? Or
But you see, this is what's weird. You see, you say this and it's great. And yes, there is an emotional catalyst because, you know, that is the inciting incident of that film, is Stellan going over to Renat's character and saying, here, I want you to play the lead. But it's very strange, and MovieWise has a fantastic video on this where he says the drama as itself should not work because a lot of the emotional conflicts are resolved outside of the frame. We just accept that, spoiler alert, you know, Renat forgives her dad and finally agrees to do the character. We never actually see that confrontation. And so Stellan, his character is actually way more preoccupied with Elle Fanning's character in portraying the mother. Right. Whom he wanted Renat to play. And so Stellan's progression in realizing the importance of his daughter actually comes from him directing another actor.
Renat is in this list, so you could still
Renat is incredible. Renat is incredible. She's phenomenal. She is the greatest thing to come out of Norway in a very long time. I truly believe it. She is an absolute star.
Do you
and I
think...
still preferred Inga, but that shows you the quality of the acting in this film.
Do you think Renat holds a candle to Jessie Buckley and Hamnet? Do you think there's a real competition there, or is it clearly...
I think that she holds a candle because the performance of Renat was a lot more subtle.
Okay.
Jessie Buckley is 1000% the favorite. She's the favorite because, look, I saw Hamnet and I thought Jessie Buckley killed. What she did in that film, I don't even know how the hell she did it. All of the layers. Portrayed as an outcast from, you know, her clan because her mother was a witch from the forest, to portraying love, to portraying betrayal when Shakespeare goes over to London and then becomes a top shot, to starting to feel deep anxiety at the idea of losing one of the kids. Chloe Zhao knows how to hold that camera steady and just not do anything nitty, not let any artifice. So Jessie Buckley does this thing as well where she'll play both grief and utter relief and joy, and how she navigates that emotion, it's genius. But there's a scene where she's holding a baby who she believed she lost at birth, right? So she gets Hamnet out, and then daughter comes out, no pulse. She says, I want to hold my baby. She holds her baby, and you could see extreme sorrow and grief in her face. Chloe Zhao holds that camera, and then all of a sudden baby starts making noise and starts moving. It's almost as if that beautiful moment between the mother and the child kind of whispered life into the child. Yeah. And then something weird happens as a spectator. I wasn't sure. And Chloe, I'm sure, did it on purpose. Because the baby doesn't move instantly, we hear noise of babies, right? So I thought it was Hamnet. Right. You know? Yeah. I didn't think it was the baby that she was holding that was making the noise because the baby isn't moving yet. Yeah. Yeah. But then you see the glitter in her eyes. Ah, right. And a smile starting to form. And then the baby moves. And it's navigating the freaking landscape of her face that allows me to understand, holy smokes, I got chills just thinking about the scene now. Yeah, right. Okay. It is unreal how she acts in that one moment. Chloe Zhao is torturing Jessie Buckley with emotions in the freaking scene. Again, the last scene of Hamnet is just a thing to behold. Jessie Buckley deserves... Okay, Oscar. Great.
So, yeah, she's probably the favorite to win, and she's going to win. Transitioning into Best Actor, do you think Paul Mescal should have been nominated for Best Actor? Because we've just had this conversation of supporting and lead, and do you think he added to the story as a lead more than he did as supporting actor?
See, that's a great question. I would give him lead.
You would give him lead. Okay, so he wasn't nominated at all, which is crazy. Wagner Moura was nominated for The Secret Agent. Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. Another one that's shocking to me here is Jesse Plemons' snub for Bugonia.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy
That
for me.
is. Oh, well, I mean, that was the best performance for me.
Oh yeah, it was a phenomenal performance. You could really tell that he gave it everything.
Oh yeah, Jesse Plemons and Leonardo DiCaprio are my favorite performances last year.
Yeah, Jesse Plemons was really absorbed by that role, and like just his subtle movements, and like he's so like twitchy, and like you could really tell he embodied like a conspiracy theory nutbag. Because he's like all sweaty, and his strands of hair are all kind of floating down in his face, and even when he's having the breakdown scene, he's like all like, you know. One scene in particular with Jesse Plemons was when Emma Stone brings up his mother at the dinner scene, and you can really tell that it hits a nerve, but he doesn't overact it. Like it's like very subtle, like he's almost like stuttering, and he can't control it.
He's releasing these weird noise of just pure pain. You know those noises that it's just like it's like one vowel noise. You can't explain it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's like guttural, and when you hear it, you know that's absolute pain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So daylight robbery for me that he didn't get it. I would honestly say that Jesse Plemons should be taking the place of Michael B. Jordan at least for Sinners.
From that list, I also believe Jesse deserved Michael B. Jordan's place in that nomination. And I know it's a hot take, but I really believe so. I believe that Delroy deserved, rightfully so, a place in the supporting actor nomination. What Michael B. Jordan does is pretty remarkable in that film. I mean, he is playing two characters. So just for that and for the difficulty of that exercise, great. But Armie Hammer wasn't nominated for Social Network, and he was playing two characters as well.
That's true. So, that is very true. And then there's Wagner Moore as well.
I hear he delivers a killer performance, and I love Wagner Moore. I have not seen Secret Agent, unfortunately. That's one of the films that I haven't seen as well.
Yeah.
From the Best Picture category. There were too many movies.
Do you think this one is a case that the competition is just too strong?
Timothée Slade, Leonardo DiCaprio Slade.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons was unreal.
Yeah, I know.
He's not nominated. Yeah. And again, I hear Wagner Moore gave his best performance as well, and he already was a legend in my books for playing Pablo Escobar.
Yes, he was. Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
And don't ask me for further details. I'd have to rewatch movies to tell you exactly why, but my gut tells me I do prefer Leonardo DiCaprio over the other
overall
roles.
Yeah. I would be inclined to agree.
And I'm not going to say, it was a clean sweep. Again, this one was just really difficult, but I'm just giving you my gut reaction. I don't think that I could give you more details other than it's physical, it's emotional, it's it's tragic as much as it is hilarious. Leonardo is as comfortable playing straight drama as we all know him to be, the serious actor that he is, as he is a hysterical comedic actor. Like, this is why I would give it to him. Playing comedy is very tough, and I cannot for the life of me believe that I think that Leonardo DiCaprio might be equally as good comedically as he is dramatically, and I would be even inclined to say best comedic actor working in Hollywood right now, because Wolf of Wall Street is genius. That performance is, it's up there with Godfather. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, I was laughing hysterically at every single one of those call scenes with the
Oh yeah. That's
what time is it?
Yeah.
And just those close-ups. Thank you, Paul Thomas Anderson, for giving us those glorious telephoto lens close-ups.
Yeah.
And just holding it in there and just letting us
feel for sure. Yeah.
The discombobulation of Leo for not knowing what time it was.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to give it to Leo.
Yeah. I would agree. I would say I would agree. The only other one I would say who is probably going to win as well is Timothée, right? Probably going to win the Oscar.
I mean, that's what they're saying, right? That's his, he's the favorite.
Although I would say Leo, in my book, deserves the win. But again, it's just a matter of opinion, right?
Yeah, it's a matter of opinion, and your opinion is as right as somebody else's.
Well, my opinion.
Look,
here,
I see why people are going to say Timothée.
Yeah. My strong opinion here is that Jesse Plemons deserves the spot instead of Michael B. Jordan, and that is my strong opinion here. And I will stick by that.
And you know what? I would actually agree with you on that one.
Are we doing original screenplay first, or do you want to do adapted?
Let's do adapted first, because there's less risk there, and then we go on original.
So with adapted, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Train Dreams, Hamnet, and One Battle After Another.
All right. What's your take?
I think Train Dreams is a tough one because it is really a plotless film. It's really a character-focused film.
I agree. And I would say Hamnet to a certain extent as well, because Hamnet doesn't really have a plot.
With Train Dreams particularly, the emphasis wasn't on the screenwriting for me in the making of that, and I'm sure that they were aware of that. Like the emphasis is really on the beauty of the shots and the landscape and the American wilderness, and
it's a film.
Capturing like the loneliness, and to me it really felt like a Cormac McCarthy novel. If you read like something like Satri, it really felt like an adaptation of that, where it's like there's a lot of longing and like loneliness and kind of pondering about like characters pondering around the American wilderness, and it's very like poetic and beautiful, and there isn't a lot of going on, but you're here for the vibes really. And Train Dreams did have and Train Dreams was one of my personal favorites on this list, particularly the best picture, just purely because it was a very nice film to look at. But yeah, so for screenwriting, those like Train Dreams and then Hamnet, I still haven't seen it yet, obviously. So the standout here for me was One Battle After Another. I think. Me too. I think the writing in One Battle After Another was really, really good. It had some problems here and there. Obviously, we've said with some characterization, but generally, I think it was pretty good. I think that's probably the strongest one for me. Begonia, I don't know. I mean, I'm more interested in hearing what you have to say, really, because it's a difficult one for me to break to break down this one.
That one's kind of difficult. I think I enjoyed Begonia more than people enjoyed Begonia.
Okay.
I agree with you. I can already tell you that Train Dreams and Hamnet are not in my top. As you say, there are meditative vibe movies that make you feel feelings, and they're great, but they're just not like my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always feel like they're not like utilizing the full potential of what a film is supposed to be, you know?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
There's a reason why the three elements of a good story are characters, setting, plot, and they're interlinked by conflict.
Yeah.
So if you take plot away from me, I'm getting itchy.
I'm interested to know what your opinion of Frankenstein was, actually, as well.
I really wanted to love that film, dude. I
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And that's exactly how I would sum up this film. I really wanted to love it.
Oh, bro. I was ready for it. I prepared the popcorn. The set was very well prepared for that film to be a marvelous experience. And it just ended up being underwhelming. Not Frankenstein.
One Battle After.
It's
I think,
crazy, man. Like Frankenstein was so also disorienting because like 3 times watching that film, I thought I was going to get a particular kind of genre only to get something else.
I know, that's what I thought as well. And
so it was really disorienting.
Yeah. And someone said that this just you watch this film and you just think of Netflix. And I couldn't agree more. It just has that Netflix stamp, right? You know? The internet is undefeated in their comments.
Oh man, bro,
it just feels like Netflix. It really didn't feel like a Guillermo del Toro film when I was watching it, because it tried to be dark and gritty and gothic, but it didn't feel dark and gritty and gothic. Not like Pan's Labyrinth or Shape of Water. And I do agree with that person commenting it felt like a Netflix because it feels like you're trying to be gothic, but you're also afraid to be at the same time. That's how I felt with it.
Wow, that's a very interesting take. Very interesting take. Yeah, I mean, I saw instantly all of the Guillermo del Toro aesthetic, right? The costume design was incredible. The set design was incredible. And, you know, what's the first thing that you think about when you think of Guillermo del Toro? You think about gothic romance, awesome costumes, awesome set design. But yeah, I mean, I think my two qualms with the film were, as shocking as this sounds, I guess the cinematography, and I think that's why people say it's Netflix. And then, of course, secondly, the script that just, I don't know. I just wanted so much more out of that story, and it felt, and I think maybe this is where you're talking about the fear, that it didn't have the guts.
It felt quite flat in some parts. Yeah.
See, this is why we didn't talk about Jacob Elordi. I feel like somehow he was miscast. I can't really explain it. It just felt like something was off, and that's not throwing shade to Jacob, or that's not throwing shade to Oscar Isaac either. Something about it was really off. But yeah, those are our 2 cents on Frankenstein.
Yeah, but then One Battle After Another. What are your opinions on the script for One Battle After Another then?
I mean, look, when it comes to dialogue, it's by far the best. When it comes to theme, it's by far the best. Knowing exactly the story you're about to get. It's a typical chase story with an arc about a father going from not accepting his responsibility to all of a sudden accepting responsibility by laying his life out on the line in order to save his daughter. So because everything was so nice and clean and quite clear, it allowed for me to completely get immersed in that story and not getting any hiccups along the way. I guess the hiccups that I'll have are more with regards to sometimes tone, not knowing whether it's overtly satirical or if I should take this completely seriously, with like the Merry Christmas people. And, sometimes you're just like, what the fuck's going on here?
The random guy at the end that just replaces Sean Penn as a villain, who's in the chase sequence at the end.
Yeah.
Where it should have been Sean Penn in that chase sequence chasing her down, right? In the final showdown.
And it would have been so much more powerful, in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your 3 players are leading to that climax, which is the real father chasing the daughter with the surrogate father chasing after the real father. It's just brilliant. I just felt like that guy was like, in French we say le cheveux sur la soupe, a hair on soup. Like it's just that little element that you're like, I'm still getting the soup, but there's the hair there, and it's like, what the fuck?
He wasn't even a side villain.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, bro,
he's a tertiary villain.
Exactly. We were just like, bro, we don't need you right now. The story has enough. And it's almost as if that was like too many characters. That's one character.
That's it. That's exactly it.
I do agree that the evil villains felt a little bit one note.
Yeah,
we're these hardcore Republican, racist, homophobic. We get that line when he's talking about the semen demons and all that shit.
But overall, you think that kind of would deserve the award, right?
It still deserves the award again because I adored Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Yeah.
I adored Willa. I adored Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah.
We are still talking about a master here, which is Paul Thomas Anderson. And
of course.
Again, these are hiccups that don't put this film at all in the same category, as far as I'm concerned, as There Will Be Blood or Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, definitely.
But still a great film. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I would give it to
absolutely
One Battle After Another.
I agree as well. Okay, so now we're moving on to original screenplay.
Rory,
are you ready for this one?
Constructive criticism.
I should be saying that to you, I think, more, to be honest. Okay, so I'll just read them out. So It Was Just an Accident, Jafar Panahi, which I've heard was an absolute masterpiece. Blue Moon by Robert Kaplow. Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, and Ronald Bronstein. Sinners by Ryan Coogler, and Sentimental Value by Joachim Trier and Eskil Vogt. So those are the
that
5.
One's very easy for me. Very easy. I have not seen Blue Moon, so taking Blue Moon away, I'm going to start with the winner. Clear winner, and I thought best written screenplay of the entire year. It Was Just an Accident by Jafar Panahi.
So you have seen that?
I adored that film. I adored it with all my heart.
Right.
I was so angry, actually, when I watched that film, because I was like, that's a premise that I should have come up with. It's a very, how you said it's a very you film, Yasser.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was the All That Jazz episode. Well, you will see that one. The premise is absolutely fucking astounding.
Is it? Right.
The premise is very simple. It's the story of a dude who used to be, prisoner in this horrible prison, was tortured. One day he meets his torturer out on the street and decides, obviously, to take revenge, and so abducts him.
Wow.
And wants to kill him.
Right.
And he interrupts a wedding preparation because the wife also had been tortured by this guy. And so now it's these, some of his victims are just thinking about what the fuck do we do with this guy? And it's just this moral tale about, shall we go? Does violence beget violence? And
does the end justify the means, sort of thing, right?
That's right. And it is just
that is a great
moral,
idea,
philosophical debate. You'd think that then it would just be, it's just characters sitting around talking about what we're going to do. And yet there's movement. There are, unbelievable plot points that I would have never thought about. Spoiler alert. Actually, no, I don't want to spoil you because you didn't see it, and I'd rather you see it. But just hyper dramatic. It's extremely well written, where every single character you can close your eyes and just know exactly whose voice it is.
Oh, great.
Jafar doesn't get credit enough for imbuing his characters with, a rich voice, much like G.R. Martin in Game of Thrones. And every single end of scene moves on to the next, and every time you have no idea where it's going. And when it happens, you're like, it's surprising, and yet it was inevitable. And that sort of catharsis is peak. It was so funny. I had a conversation with one of the executive producers of Sentimental Value.
Yeah.
Obviously, we discussed about how it was at Cannes, and he said, well, I mean, obviously, disappointed that they didn't win the Palme d'Or, still very happy that they won the Grand Jury Prize. So he said, I saw it and I didn't understand. And I said, well, I saw it and I understood. So, like, bro, I'm very excited.
I've seen both and I understood.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have him on this podcast, and he should be coming in soon.
On the topic of the script of Sentimental Value, then, what were your thoughts on that?
I think that Joachim Trier is a phenomenal actor's director.
Okay, right.
As far as his screenwriting, he is a director who is obsessed with Ingmar Bergman, and as such, is anti-structure. So his screenplays are often like an affront on the senses, and there are a lot of people who love that. I guess, and this is my American conservative views, because I have very conservative views with regards to screenwriting, I don't really get it. I don't really get it because you're positing this problem, which is a conflict between a father and a daughter and, past family drama. And so I'm kind of expecting Squid and the Whale by Noam Baumbach, which is a film that I highly recommend people to go watch. He takes on like this two different stories where we're following Stellan's character trying to make this movie with Elle Fanning replacing Renat because she refuses the call to adventure at the beginning. And then Renat having issues with her acting career because her father is back in her life. And so what happens is the main issue of the film is not being tackled frontally. And there is a reason why my favorite scene in that film happens to be the let's lay bare our traumas in the living room, because it's exactly what I've been waiting for the entire movie, which is, okay, let's do this. Yeah. And that's what the audience is expecting. And oh my God, what an incredibly written and acted scene. And even directing, I'll go as far as to say the directing is great because it didn't need that much. And I felt the full oomph of that.
Right.
But then I got frustrated again because instantly, as much as I got it, boom, he takes it away from me again. And the issues are being resolved sort of off screen.
Right.
And then we are getting comments about conversations that happened with Stellan and Elle and Renat and her boyfriend or whatever. And so it's a weird one for me, it's one of those where, it leans more towards, again, the feeling, because it's not a classically structured and plotted story.
Okay, right.
And so it creates this sort of intellectual and emotional dissonance where it's like, I'm watching it and I really want to get into it even more, but my screenwriting brain is getting triggered by what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think about Sentimental Value. Mind you, I enjoyed Sentimental Value.
Did you have similar problems with Marty Supreme? Because with Marty Supreme, I thought some of it was really long-winded and unnecessary as well. I thought some bits were really unnecessary. And it is it's a 2.5 hour film, right? It's one of those things where I call this a 2.5 hour film that should have been 90 minutes. It's a case of not trimming enough down in the editing, really, and getting a bit too absorbed by overindulgence, like self-indulgence, and being like, oh, we need this. And it's like, do you actually need this? And with Marty Supreme, there was a lot of bits where I was like, if you took that out, would it would it really affect the story? And I don't think it would.
I totally agree with everything that you've just said. Look, Josh Safdie knows how to write, and he knows how to write great scenes because there's a lot of great scenes in this film.
Yes,
I'm thinking about the opening scene with Marty Supreme and Odessa Dazayan's character.
Yeah.
That opening scene is fantastic.
Yeah.
With the manager giving him the card saying he's a manager, and then him saying, "No, what do you do? What is this?" Great. Yeah. All around, just fantastic opener.
I like the scene where he robs him by gunpoint, and he's just like not having it. I think that was fantastic. That was a great scene.
Fantastic. Yeah. And every single scene with Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. By the way, Mr. Wonderful should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor because he's another one that you actually remember. I can't believe a businessman who's never acted is killer in this film.
Yeah, he was killer in this film. Yeah.
And every scene with him, the first talk when he offers him, and the guy basically insults him and insults his son, and then he just walks away, and then you could just tell, you're like, you have no idea who you just insulted, pal.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, it leads to that humiliation in the flat, which is also a great scene. Look, it's got some momentous moments, but I agree. I think that it was clotted up in a lot of what the fuck moments. Abel Ferrara and his dog, I didn't have any time for it.
That was
I didn't have any time for the fucking mafia shit. You know, his dog being then stuck in some other random house.
Yeah.
And it was just like, bro, we don't give a fuck about the fucking dog. And so it felt to me like artificial conflict.
Yes.
It didn't feel organic to Timothee's character. It felt like some sort of massive side quest.
It felt like things were happening.
Created. Yeah. And it didn't feel really connected to the story. And so when I was watching the script, it didn't feel like that Matt Stone and Trey Parker thing where it's like, therefore, because...
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Describing causality between scenes. All of a sudden, it became, and then that happened, and
this
then
happens,
that happened.
And this happens,
And so we kind of lose the causal chain to then have episodic segments that are very random of conflict.
Yeah.
And I felt that.
One scene which I thought was really kind of pointless was the scene with is he like German or Austrian friend, the ping pong guy? And he's talking to the guy and he's like, "Oh, I was in the Holocaust and I put honey on my body and they licked it off." It was just stuff like that where I was just kind of like, I was expecting that to lead to some character development, but the problem is like you don't see that guy again. You've added this character detail which is really interesting, but his character
there was no payoff. There was no payoff.
His character's gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's like what?
I agree. And also, this guy is a hustler. He's obviously egotistic in order to make his dreams happen. It's about his dreams and nothing else. And all of a sudden, we're led to believe that he's going to be a better man just because he had a kid.
I know. That is yeah, it's true. And I think actually it felt a little bit anticlimactic, the end, because if you look back at their older films, Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie as well, like Uncut Gems and Good Time, these are films about bad, impulsive people that have really negative actions, and in the end, it leads to a drastic consequence. In Good Time, he gets arrested and he's going to be separated from his brother. He's going to go to jail for a very long time. In Uncut Gems, he gets his face blown off at the end. In this film, there isn't really a negative consequence that he goes to at the end, because he beats the guy in ping pong, the Japanese guy, even though it's not an official match, and he still has a child at the end. And so it's kind of like, what is the negative consequence of his obvious negative actions throughout the film?
Oh, so you're saying like it lacks stakes?
Yes, ultimately, like an ultimate stake at the end, like
right.
To end with, because in the end,
because I mean, I'd say in the end, he knows that he's the best.
Yeah, and he's
the best
won.
In the world,
like,
and he's beat the best in the world.
He should at least have some sort of negative repercussion in some way for a character like that to really pay up, because you're expecting a character like that to have a...
But he did have his downfall though, Rory, because he got disqualified.
But you could say that he got more than he wanted because he humiliated the Japanese guy in an unofficial match, and he's still going to get matches out of that, and he's still going to get like high publicity out of that because he's clearly a really good player.
Yeah, I think he'll get publicity 100%. But he didn't get more than what he got. He got what he wanted, but but not fully. It's that gray area ending that I was telling you about, where it's not black or white. He didn't win the championship, and he didn't just go to prison. It's in the middle. So he won it, but unofficially.
You think right?
And
okay.
The repercussions of his actions was that he got disqualified from the national championship. Maybe he'll come back next year. Maybe he'll get, But the thing is, he's broke at the end of it. He doesn't have any money. He got humiliated, but at least he got the one victory that he wanted, was to show that he was the best in the world.
I think still the negative impact isn't as strong as the other two, though, right?
Fair enough. That's true. Yeah. It isn't because it's not a fully negative arc in this story, which is fair.
But do you think with a film like this, a negative arc is the only arc you can really do to make it work, or is that too cynical?
Yeah, I think that's too cynical, because I do believe that there are multiple structures, and one of them could be that in some you believe it more than others. So if you didn't fully believe it, that means that there was an issue with the screenwriting. But I'm thinking now off the top of my head, James Cagney's movie, Angels with Dirty Faces, right? It is a negative arc about a character who gets sucked into the mafia world, gets to live and experience, the highs, the money, the success, blah, 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 of all that mafia. But obviously, ultimately, it leads to his arrest, and he's sentenced to death. And the spoiler alert again, it is a fantastic film. Okay. The priest tells him at the end, listen, don't be a disgrace all the way, because if you die with your head held high, you're going to inspire kids to follow you down your path, because they're going to see value in you not showing fear at the face of death. But if you pretend to be scared and start weeping and shit your pants, you're going to be a disappointment to the kids, and ultimately you're going to be known as just a failure. But that failure, your legacy will be a shit one, but that shit one is going to save the next generation from following in crime. It's a phenomenal ending. And in the end, James Cagney decides to the chair in front of the kids, and so he basically saves those kids from going down that path. Right. So it was a negative arc, but it doesn't end in a Scarface pool of blood.
So it doesn't have to. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
It ends with him saving, and it is so deserved, dude. It is like a phenomenal ending. It couldn't have ended in a better way.
Yeah, right. Okay, fair enough.
And again, it's that gray area, right, Rory? So he doesn't die just a murderer and he's proud, and he doesn't become an angel. No, it's in between. He becomes an angel, but at the same time he dies.
Staying on the topic of black and white then, what about the Sinners script? What do we think of this? Should I go first or should you?
You go first. Go first.
Okay, so I actually liked this film at first. I thought the first half of the film was at least interesting, right? I actually quite liked the dynamic that he plays with the brothers, the two characters, and I thought there was quite a lot of wit, like in the scenes. There was quite a lot of interesting scenes actually, with clear setups and payoffs and like punchlines. And I actually quite liked where it was going, although I knew it was gonna go. I didn't quite know it was gonna take that jarring of a turn. But yeah, up to the first half, the midpoint, I actually quite enjoyed some parts of it. Obviously, the shift is the middle, and not only does the film shift in terms of genre, but tonally, there is a massive shift as well. And to say it's jarring, I think, is an understatement, because this script almost seems like he was writing it and rewriting it up until halfway, and then halfway he was like, oh, he just gave up and just like wrote, and then he was like, this'll do. Because the second half of this film is all over the place. It is a mess, right? This script is so messy in the second half. And I think, honestly, it's because, to me, he didn't seem confident in the genre switch. Because if you look at a film like Dusk Till Dawn, that has a genre switch. But Robert Rodriguez, I think, has a lot more confidence in that. And did Tarantino write that as well, or?
I don't know. I don't think he wrote it.
Yeah.
But he called him as the actor, because he said, listen, there's the scene where you get to suck Salma Hayek's feet. And he goes, listen, I want
He
believability,
did, yeah.
and I think no one better to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so it was just Robert Rodriguez. But I think that film was, I think From Dusk Till Dawn's a lot more convincing to me because it is established as a B movie, actually, early on.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do a film like what Ryan Coogler has done with Sinners, is you do need to establish that early on, that kind of to transition more easily into the switch. And I don't think he did it well at all with this. It feels so weird halfway through. Like the motivations of characters. There's a scene, and this to me proves that Ryan Coogler's trying to think of this film with a Marvel director mindset, because there's a scene in the climactic scene before the one of the characters invites the vampires in and they're about to fight. There's a shot that establishes all of them in the barn, and there's 3 random guys there, or like 4 random guys. What I was asking myself was, where did these guys come from? Like, these aren't characters. Like you're just adding characters now. So you're essentially saying that these random guys you've added, their sole purpose in the script is cannon fodder, right?
Right.
So you've added characters just so you can have shots of the vampires doing something to these nameless characters. So you can have shots, basically, of them eating these random characters. The main cast are in a barn, right? Surely they'd be interacting with these other people, right? These other random dudes that are there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me these random dudes have just been sat on the sideline, just like waiting for something to happen?
Right.
It made me think of another film that does this, and that's Alien 3. If you see Alien 3, the prisoners in Alien 3 are just pointless characters, right? They don't have any characterization. They're passive characters. And it's the same with this. Like, if you're writing characters, they really need to have a purpose, like all of your characters. I think that is lazy writing. It's because you don't know what to do with them, and it's like I said, you're just adding them for shots to be eaten, right? Basically, all in all, I think the tonal shift was very weird, and I don't think Ryan Coogler had. I think he basically needed a script editor to tell him no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you with regards to tonal shift. I think I saw From Dusk Till Dawn. I was a kid, and I actually don't have a lot of memories from that film, if it makes sense. So I don't remember the details. I don't know when the vampires start.
I know what memories you do have, though.
Of course. That's just the one scene. I must agree with you. The tonal shift in the middle was ballsy, because when you watch the film, you're almost promised like this epic American tale from the American South. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know, like these 2 brothers, and it's going to be this really cool, like...
Yes.
I don't even know, like, East of Eden kind of story.
Yeah, that's what I thought
like,
as well.
Let's do it. And yeah, sure, they're trying to make a business, and then at the midpoint, I don't know, something's going to happen with the business. Mind you, I hadn't seen the trailer when I watched the film. So I genuinely thought it was going to be like, it's going to be, then the KKK is going to come in. It's going to be a cool story.
Yeah.
Now, Jack O'Connell comes in, and I'm sitting there going, wait, whoa, what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. All right, so Satan's joining the conversation. Fine.
Yeah.
We're still okay. And then, bro, from the moment the party starts, a story is only as good as your suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do a lot of wild shit on that frame, and the audience is willing to forgive a lot so long as there is some level of logic, some level of causality, and the choices being made are in line with the characters that you presented, right? This one, he just broke so many rules that at the end I was just like, okay, I mean, this is just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you so many examples, and I'm going to start ironically enough with the end, because it's the first ones that come to mind. So I'm just going to get some ideas off the cuff, okay? Sammy is in the water with Jack O'Connell. Let's just call him Satan.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by all of the other vampires who are on the shores, not going in, just enjoying the spectacle.
Yeah.
And at the climax, out of nowhere, Satan gets stabbed in the back by Michael B. Jordan's character in water.
Yeah.
Hey, did Satan not hear him in water, literally running up behind him? I don't know if you've ever ran in water, but it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Exactly, yeah.
Did all of the fucking vampires just watch him casually strolling in the water for a solid 50 meters? Just like, oh yeah, just chilling. Boom.
Exactly.
To stab him. I'm like, did we just throw logic out the water here?
Yeah, exactly.
And secondly, Satan, who clearly has a hard time with the sun because he's a vampire, can see the very first rays of dawn because the sky changes color. And it's pretty clear. And by the way, all of those vampires are facing the fucking horizon where they could see the orange and red hues starting to glow because the sun is about to rise.
Yeah.
And none of them think to themselves, you know what? If that's going to kill us, we should probably
get out, yeah.
But no, they all sit there. He stabs him. Obviously, stabbing him still doesn't kill him. He's just about to fucking kill Michael B. Jordan and Sammy. And oh, wait, what? The sun all of a sudden is up and we're just going to kill all the vampires? Hooray.
Yeah.
Some legitimate weird Deus Ex Machina. This is literally a Deus Ex Machina because Deus was involved in this. And so that climax is ruined for me because you've just given me a breach of logic of the laws that you've created for your world and a wonderful coincidence. Coincidence to save your characters is never, ever accepted by the audience.
Big no-no, yeah. Yeah. Because one of the main plot points that I have an issue with is the Chinese lady inviting the vampires in, which I think is just it's such a cheap way of how do we get the vampires inside? I'm going to scream, oh, come inside because you're not going to get my daughter. And it's like, when you're writing scenes, like when we write scenes and we're trying to think of, you're trying to think of ways to like logical ways that are simple that a character would behave. You would think that it takes like 10 ideas to get to the best one, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
With this, it feels like it was his first idea and he was like, okay, yeah, that'll do. Because to me, it doesn't make sense because they're like, oh, we're going to go after your daughter, even though 10 minutes later it's daytime. So it's like, how are they going to go after her daughter in 10 minutes anyway? And then it just seems a bit drastic to me that she would be like, oh, let's invite them inside and sacrifice everyone else's lives, by the way, with this very impulsive decision.
I totally agree. Sacrificing everybody's decision. They're out here and they were being very smart. The love interest of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Let's just call her the sorceress. The sorceress is smart with everything, okay? You know, the garlic, let's eat the garlic. That was my favorite scene.
Great scene, yeah.
Clear, like, love letter to The Thing by John Carpenter. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I was into it. And then, you know, she is super smart with everything. You know, like, she's the one who even figures out that if you hurt Jack O'Connell's character, it hurts every single body else, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly,
you'd think they'd be a fantastic payoff to that. There was no payoff to that. Again,
no
yet another setup that has no payoff. Why? Because the sun kills everyone. Oh, and by the way, she never says they hate the light, so we must fight them until the sun comes up. Even if she just said that one line, I would have accepted the way it ended, even though I'm still not convinced, right? Because they would know that the sun is coming up, so they would fuck off. They weren't going to wait because they're like, oh, no, but the sorceress did set that up, so now we can wait and just die. But that's still better than how it ended,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Another thing that's very dumb, these vampires are dumb enough not to just have come in and barged in every time the door was open, because that door was open 10,000 times. They're having casual conversations. Now the excuse that I'm going to receive is, oh, yeah, but that's just Jack O'Connell playing with his victims, because he knows regardless they're going to die. Well, listen, man, if I'm on time and I know that sun's going to come up, I'm going to kill them as soon as possible. But whatever, I still give them all of that. As you say, she makes that decision. She sacrifices everyone, right? After that wonderful preparation, why not just keep the doors locked and, barricade yourself, or I don't know, use particular points, or least of all, just shoot them from the window or something. Why? Because from your vantage points, maybe shooting them from up top and at the bottom, you're at least going to eliminate some of those guys trying to come in. And whilst they're all getting huddled together in order to break down the door, maybe pour a lot of that the boiled
oil
and
oil,
gold,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Boiled oil. Great. Look at how many people you have killed now before they came in. I'm sure I think they're going to come in eventually, but at least it'll be 5 people instead of 50.
Yeah.
And I just came out with that solution off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to give you the mother of all haram. That character says, bring him in so that they're not going to get my daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you'd think, okay, well, she'd want to survive in order to take care of her daughter.
Yeah.
But no, she just barges in, kills her husband,
yeah,
and then lets herself be burned alive whilst killing her husband. So not only does she sacrifice herself in order to then have them die that night and not go to the daughter. She'd rather die for her daughter, which I don't believe. I think she wanted to survive in order to stay with her daughter. So sure, sacrifice herself. But then she sacrificed herself, and she had all the fucking time in the world. Because that fire was just in her back. She had all the time in the world to off and just roll, and then can get at somebody else, or take more than one person down. But no, she lets herself be burnt, and while she's being burnt, so I can't even imagine the amount of pain she's feeling. She's still holding on to that knife and just like dying whilst looking at her in this weird romantic pose, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? This is just ridiculous at this point.
It's cinematography for the sake of cinematography.
No, but even then, so then you just threw logic all the way out the door.
Yeah, I know. And now you've just orphaned your daughter as well.
And you've just orphaned your daughter. So I'm like, that entire sacrifice is for nothing. So Delroy then sacrifices himself to gain time when there was no need to gain time. You should have just gone. You didn't need to fucking sacrifice yourself. It made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it?
And then
you could, because there's a table next to him. You could have just dragged the table to the stairs.
Again, there's just so much
something like
that you could have done. Yeah, exactly. Drag the table to just block. I don't know. Again, maybe they would have jumped over it. Whatever. All I'm trying to say is there was so much shit you could have done instead of just doing that. And another thing that really triggered me, bro, Michael B. Jordan, the brother, when he becomes a vampire, he literally puts a dagger through the door in order to create a hole. And yet both Sammy and Michael B. Jordan put their eyes very close to that hole in order to see what's inside. I'm sitting there going, did you motherfuckers just forget he's got a dagger? Let me just ask you something, Nora. If a dude has a dagger and creates a hole, what do? Do you put your eye next to that fucking hole like this? No.
Yeah.
Motherfucker might stab you. It was just a succession. Now you might say, oh, but yeah, sir, see now what your qualms here are really with conflict and with plot. Yeah, that's 2 out of 4 things that make up a story. So that's half of the story that's already not working for me.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about, oh, but at least you like the setting. Yeah, I like the setting. Sure, I'll give him the setting. Great setting. And then characters, too many characters for my taste. And not enough time for them to really shine. The Thing is a film that was made, and that I believe the duration of The Thing is, it's a shorter film than Sinners. And yet I remember the 4 main parts of that film.
Yeah.
And as cool as I found the brother idea of having Michael B. Jordan play both characters, I didn't find that it wasn't really played out dramatically, quite frankly. And so I was like, oh, so then could it just have been one character? Because the fact that they were brothers didn't really add anything to the story.
Yeah, ultimately. I think it was building. It added more to the story in the first half than it did in the second half.
Yeah, that's correct. It did. Because in the first half, they were really playing it where, one is a lot more impulsive and crazy than the other.
And also, like, they just shoehorn the KKK in at the in for like the last.
I didn't even talk about that.
It's so random.
Yeah, like that was just very random.
They just show up.
Yeah.
I didn't just show up for him to go out in like a blaze of glory. It's like really weird.
That's our take on Sinners.
Yeah, that's our take on Sinners.
Screenplay.
So unfortunately, there was a lot of problems overall.
I don't even think it deserved an Oscar nomination. I'll be completely honest with you.
No. And people are saying that this should win.
Ryan Coogler is the one who I think is going to win.
He's going to win Best Original Screenplay, I think.
I think he's the one who's going to win it.
Okay, so cinematography, we've got Marty Supreme, Train Dreams, Sinners, Frankenstein, and One Battle After Another. What do we think?
Okay, so in that list, Frankenstein's last. Yeah. I think it is a really, really competitive category. In fact, it might be the most competitive category because I would give it to any of the other ones.
Yeah.
It was just stellar all around, but just for how beautiful it was, and it did get to me, I'll just go Train Dreams.
Train Dreams was really stunning. And like I say, it felt like a Cormac McCarthy novel brought to life. There's a shot where there's a guy sat in the cutout of a tree. There was such color and texture. There was a really nice texture to the shots and how it plays with light, the natural light and like sunsets. And I personally think that could win, although I think One Battle After Another.
Yeah, I mean, One Battle After Another was stupid as well.
Yeah, and with One Battle After Another, there was a nice range of shot choices as well that were really well balanced. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Best Direction.
Cool. So Best Director, we have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Ryan Coogler for Sinners. We have Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, and Paul Thomas Anderson. I think this one is pretty obvious for me.
Me too.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson, 100%.
I don't think it's even close, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute master. Like, his compositions are just amazing. I think there's so many scenes in this film that show how he's a superior director. Obviously, the final sequence is amazing for directing.
Unreal,
it's one of the best final chase sequences I've seen in a long time.
I think ever.
It's incredible. Maybe even ever, actually. Yeah.
How the hell do you create a final chase sequence that is not something that we've already seen 1,000 times?
Exactly.
And Paul Thomas Anderson is like, oh, you know what? Well, why don't I use the environment, the setting, to actually be the crystallized piece of this entire suspense sequence? Why? Because they're hills, and so by logic, the moment you're on top, you can kind of see, but then the moment you go back down, you don't have the vision. That right there is just a fantastic directorial instinct because he said that he didn't have that in the actual script. He only found that out when he was doing Recce, and I'm like, oh wow, brilliant.
Okay.
And then the idea of her pausing at top and then him just going up and not realizing that the car stopped at super high speed crashing.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Unreal. See, this is what we talk about. We discussed really briefly before about Sinners. This is fantastic climaxing. That's just smart. That's witty. And it's 100% something that Willa would do because we all know that Willa is extremely smart. And then obviously the Who Are You when you finally see the father. Fantastic climax. That again could have been even heightened had it been the Sean Penn instead of that other dude. But still, I will forgive PTA because that was fantastic. PTA just knows how to not only compose his shots but also use blocking. In a lot of the films that we've discussed, namely Sinners, unfortunately there's a lot of stand and deliver. There isn't really a type of blocking. We're going to revert to just simple close-ups and just cut from close-up to close-up to close-up and just let the editor stitch it together. Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't do that. Even on telephoto, actually, he'll shoot a group of characters and then he'll just let them dance around the camera.
Exactly.
And then it's all done subconsciously, understand, okay, who's now holding the scene? Okay, boom. Okay, now we go from Tiana Taylor. Okay, now I'm just following Leo, and then from Leo, and they're each giving their lines, and it's like this ballet in front of the camera, and it is absolutely beautiful to watch. Paul Thomas Anderson is someone who knows when to use close-ups. Like I said, the moment where Leonardo DiCaprio is absolutely breaking down with the dude on the phone, that scene did not deserve anything more than just a close-up of Leonardo DiCaprio's face, who is just, he wants 100%. To kill this guy.
Yeah.
Same thing when we're shooting him wides when he's in prison, and all of a sudden, when his lawyer comes in and says, are you ill or whatever, suddenly we're in close-ups, and the reason we're in close-ups is to actually receive the little cues that the lawyer is saying with her face, saying, I'm here to help you out, I'm going to get you out. And Leo slowly getting that. Brilliant usage of close-ups. The fact that there are these ABA moments where there's like 3 different frames, each telling a different story with one simple camera move. When he comes out of the back, escaping he's up top. That's one point. The camera goes down. Now we're on a 2-shot with Benicio del Toro. And when he comes in, Benicio takes out his phone and they take a selfie. So what happens is the shots are so alive. And he also uses editing tricks. It's fantastic. Like, the moment where Leonardo DiCaprio shoots when he has Lockjaw in view, and then we cut inside and we're like, wait, did he kill him? Did he not kill him? Oh shit!
There's like a moment moment of silence briefly, isn't there? Yeah.
So he's keeping us,
on
suspense,
edge,
or the unbelievable compositions where Willa's her hands are being tied and she's being moved by the cops, and on the sides, in one shot, you understand what happened. All of the sisters being tied down from either end of the frame, and it's just when one camera move, it tells you the entire story without a single word of dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is where you realize, okay, this guy's just. It's PTA,
Yeah, of course.
At this point, he's just doing side quests with this film.
I mean, you mentioned Chloe Zhao earlier. You did compliment her directing in that one scene with Jessie Buckley. Was the film a standout in any other way? Was Hamnet a standout in any other way in terms of Chloe Zhao's directing?
Chloe Zhao mixes a lot of stuff, I felt, in this film. There's a bit of Terrence Malick with the sequences when she's in the forest with these unbelievable white shots, with just this sense of poetry and a sense of man within this incredible earth. Like the opening shot, I think, is you saw the opening shot, you saw the first 10 minutes. That opening shot is gorgeous, where she's just in that little hole and she's huddled up, in that little hole, and obviously the metaphor that entails. And then from there, she'll shoot sequences like a Wes Anderson movie. So the camera is always perpendicular to the wall, and you have the character who is in between the wall and the camera. And that character will only be shot 100% frontally or 100% at 90-degree angle. The scene where he discovers that he's going to get a baby, Shakespeare, and Jessie Buckley is there with the family. It's extremely well blocked. I love that sequence, and it's shot in 90-degree angles. She's interplaying with the lock camera, and then you have your handheld. Well, obviously she's in pain when she's saving her son. You could tell that Chloe Zhao was just like, follow the emotion, and she's telling the DOP, I'm not going to give you exact direction, just follow the emotion. And so that's more free flowing, but it makes sense with, again, what's being shown in the frame. So it doesn't take me out of it. I liked it. I thought it was an interesting mix of a lot of styles, but it didn't knock me out of my seat the same way PTA did with One Battle After Another.
Yeah,
I felt that there was just a lot more precision and sophistication with PTA's camera.
And you're saying that Joachim is very good at directing actors, but you don't think really his images. Is that your opinion of Joachim, would you say?
Well, Joachim, or Joachim, as I like to call him, Joachim, he
does have beautiful shots, to be fair.
Yeah, he does. He has very beautiful shots. And he has moments, like I'm thinking about the one where Stellan Skarsgård showing his film, and it's like some kids are trying to run away from the Nazis. I think it's his sister, the sister who's in the train. And it's just like this really cool camera move that, again, says multiple stories in just one very simple camera move. He also has neat tricks with mirrors. So we actually don't know that there is a mirror on the left side of the frame. We only understand it when a character from the right-hand side of the frame walks towards the camera, picks up a book, and then sits down right-hand side of the frame. But she pops up on the left-hand side of the frame. And so he does a lot of like these kind of interplays with mirror also being used as not only just a tool for great compositions, but also a great metaphor for all kinds of questions about identity, about, who you are, your place, or whatever, and obviously there's a lot of that. He plays a lot with apertures. You could tell that he studied the works of Ozu, because there are so many Ozu shots in the big house where they are. Them just sitting in corners, the aperture of the house, or in between apertures of the windows, which make for very, very expressive frames. But then he'll revert to, I'm just winging this kind of direction, which is akin to like European auteur kind of filming. Personally, it doesn't move me as much as, say, a more thought out mise en scène like your Scorsese's, like your Spielberg's.
Have you got anything to say about Ryan Coogler's directing?
I could not stand the change in aspect ratio. He's shooting it in scope, and I can only compare it to Killers of the Flower Moon. That was also shot in scope.
Okay.
But Killers of the Flower Moon is a masterclass in how to shoot scope, because Martin Scorsese will really make you feel the world. When you're shooting in scope, you're also including the world as much as just the character. Scope is not an aspect ratio where you want to favor just an individual character. If you're shooting scope, it means that the world is as important as just your character, because you have so much space left and right. Killers of the Flower Moon is like the most beautifully shot film of the 2020s so far. It's just spectacularly beautiful on every single front, right? It's the maestro. But in this one, he's not filling that frame. He's not using the full space. He's just reverting to telephoto lens and close-ups all the freaking time. Also, when you have a telephoto lens, if you do not want then to play around with the world, and it's too bad because, I mean, they created unbelievable sets for this, it then leads to wonderful moments of blocking. And that's your Akira Kurosawa's or that's your David Lean's. Okay, fine. Do it in a room, but because you have all that space, at least play with depth, play with, the left-hand side of the frame and the right-hand side of the frame, and have them go and your players move around and give meaning to the left-hand side, the right-hand side, and depth. Give meaning to all of that and let them play around. But no, Ryan will just revert to these awkward stand and delivers and cut from close-up to close-up to close-up to close-up to close-up, stuff I've seen 1,000 times. And in this particular case, it's actually kind of awkward because it's already cutting half of their faces. And I'm sitting there going, well, what the did you use this scope for, man? You know what I mean? It sounds like we fucking detested Sinners. It was it wasn't the worst film ever. It was I'll tell you what, the best thing of Sinners was its cinematography. I thought the cinematography was exquisite.
Yeah, right.
It really was. And
were you a fan of the whole music sequence? Because I know that's a bit of a controversial one where some people really like the way it was shot and then others don't.
Yeah. I thought it was you know what I mean? I didn't think it was. That's what I have to say about Sinners. It is. I know that it was going to be the hot take of this entire
episode. I mean, 16 nominations, the most nominated Oscar film of all time, which is fucking nuts, isn't it, really? Well, let's move on to Best Picture then, finally.
Yes, sir. The big boy.
So, we have The Secret Agent, Begonia, Marty Supreme, Train Dreams, F1, Sinners, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sentimental Value. I think you pretty much know. Yeah, you pretty much know the ones here. You don't have
I've seen all. Other than Secret Agent, I've seen every single one.
Yeah.
So who should win for you?
What I think is gonna win, is One Battle After Another, or maybe Marty Supreme. That's what I think of the ones I've seen. Overall, I think it's between. One Battle After Another and Hamnet, maybe, overall.
Oh, you think who is going to win?
Who is going to win, yeah. I think,
yeah.
I think my personal favorite is One Battle After Another. I think overall, that was the one that was superior on all fronts in terms of directing, screenwriting, and acting overall. Obviously, it still had its issues, but overall, that was the one that was closest to the best finished piece of filmmaking.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
I think a personal favorite, just to throw it out there as an underdog, was Train Dreams, because I really did like the way that Train Dreams made me feel. And that was another one. Joel Edgerton, I thought was really good in that film.
He was fantastic as the lead actor in that film.
He was really, really good in that film.
Shout out to Joel, man.
Yeah, shout out to Joel. So I really like Train Dreams, but obviously there's no chance. Marty Supreme, I really liked, but at the same time, I also did have those issues with it. I think Marty Supreme had the problem of expectation, because it was so blown up in expectations, and because it had like an 8.1 on IMDb at one point for a while as well. I was like, oh my god, maybe this is actually really, really good. I think I had that higher expectation that was kind of, and I felt underwhelmed a little bit after watching it, because I did think it was, like I said, I thought it was too long. I thought it had a lot of recutting that they needed to do personally. One Battle After Another was also long as well. However, I didn't think that was as, I still enjoyed that one throughout more.
Me too.
Like I was hooked with that one throughout. It didn't lose me at any moment, really, I don't think. So yeah, I'd say One Battle After Another personally, and I think that is the stronger contender to win for me. I think that one will win.
I agree on everything that you said. Yeah. I actually don't have anything to add there.
Oh, really? Okay, right.
Yeah, I think are
there any underdogs here?
Really good fun movies.
Yeah, F1.
I actually would have. Okay, the real question here, and we'll just say it for the fun. Would you have given it to One Battle After Another, or it was just an accident? If it was as an accident, it was also nominated for best.
It's really
best
annoying
picture.
because I really wanted to watch that before recording this episode.
Yeah.
Because it did really well at Cannes, didn't it? It won Best Director and Screenplay.
And
did it win the Palme d'Or as well? Did it win all three?
Yeah, it did. It won Palme d'Or. It won Palme d'Or.
That's why I'm shocked. I'm so shocked it didn't get Best Picture.
I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. Right. That's a really, really tough one.
Is it? Right.
I thoroughly enjoyed. It was just an accident.
Damn. Okay.
I haven't seen No Other Choice, the new Park Chan-wook movie.
Oh, I heard that was great as well. I heard that was.
Yeah, but one battle after another. You know, I enjoyed Hamnet.
Yeah.
I don't think would I've put it second. No, because I lean more towards the Marty Supremes than the Hamnets. F1 was good fun, but yeah.
Do you think there's a strong argument that Sinners will win Best Picture, or do you think it's just people throwing opinions out there?
I actually don't know. Argument, sure. Like I said, maybe everything that I said, someone is gonna counter argument me and prove me wrong in how I felt it, and I might go back on what I think. I don't think so, and be like, oh, actually, I completely misunderstood Sinners, and yes, it completely deserved it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it deserves Best Picture. And but look, let me put it this way. Hollywood is hungry for spec scripts, and I'm so happy that this film got made. I'm so happy that this film also made a shit ton of money for, you know, the team involved and actually did good at the box office. I am extremely happy about that.
Yeah.
I am not against Sinners. I am very much for more Sinners, please. Because then we're going to get some more exciting and original content, and that's really what I'm craving for. So I'm so happy for Ryan Coogler. Is there a solid argument? Again, I guess follow the money. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Sinners is going to win everything. And I'm be like, oh, shit, how much money do they have for marketing? God damn.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, already that 16 nominations thing was crazy to me. Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Beat Lord of the Rings, bro.
Really
like,
crazy. That's just, fuck that. But that is silly to me, though. That is a silly one.
But that's why I said, you know, who knows? Who knows? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. And, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
Peace.